Mr. Kevin.
Morning.
How you do, sir?
I'm good. Got a couple of things here for you. On the Northwest Business Park, phase 1 project, I think I mentioned last time I was here, that there was a plan to have a manhole installed on an existing city line, and when the contractor got back there, he found one about 5 feet away, so we just tied into it, which is for the supplemental and change order for the savings of $3,158. So it's a supplemental and change order for that project. That's going to reduce our price by about $3,100.
So do I need a motion? Can I get a motion to do the supplement change order for the Northwest Business Park?
I make a motion.
Motion made by Supervisor Ricks. Can I get a second? Second by Supervisor O'Connor. Are there any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, let them know by saying aye. Any opposed? Let's all get that. And on that same project, I've got the contractors third payout. This brings them to about 80% complete. Payout number 3 is in the amount of $145,087.33. At this time, can I get a motion to go ahead and approve payout number 3 for the Northwest Business Park?
Make a motion.
Motion made by Supervisor Ricks. Can I get a second? Second by Supervisor O'Connor. Are there any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, let them know by saying aye. Any opposed?
Next, I've got the 11th application for payment from the contractor of the Country Club Road project. This is going to bring his funds, as far as his work complete, to probably about 85%. He's using about 95% of his time, so he's still behind. I'll be glad to answer any questions about his schedule, but as far as the payout, it's in the amount of $128,647.84.
Do we have any questions on this? No question. At this time, we get a motion to go ahead and approve payout number 11 for Country Club Roads.
I make a motion.
Motion made by Supervisor Ricks. Can I get a second? Second by Supervisor O'Connor. Are there any discussions? With no discussion, all in favor, let it know by saying aye. Any opposed?
Mr. President, I do have a question about the Country Club Road project, timeline, et cetera. I know you sent some emails back and forth. Have there been a determination made, and specifically if we are going to do one of the plans that was mentioned, we need to get ample notice to the public of the schedule, et cetera, so that they can make plans on how they're going to get to and from their homes.
So how that started was, I guess it was the Sunday of Memorial Day weekend, so last Sunday, I got an email from the contractor saying he would be there Tuesday morning, the day after the holiday, to shut down the intersection there at Gabbard and Shannon Bottoms Country Club and route people through Bartlett Woods so he could finish the roundabout. And I called him, I said, you can't just show up and shut a road down the day after a holiday, so just stop. He's done some sod work, but I said, don't do anything to the roundabout, don't shut any roads down. Let me talk to the county and look at the plans. The plans call for that to be built, build one half and then move traffic around and build the other half. And looking at it on paper, it looks great on paper, but with the experiences this contractor's had with people that just don't tend to want to slow down, he is a little worried about trying to build that under traffic conditions with his flag men and things like that. He's got to close the road in sections. You may have folks sitting in the flagman for 5-10 minutes at a time. There seems to be a lot of impatience, which I can't blame them out there. So I had just told him to wait, and we're trying to come up with another plan that we can build it under traffic conditions if we don't want to route people through Bartlett Woods. That is going to be safer for him and for the traveling public. I'm still working on that. If he were to shut it down, I told him that we would require guarantees from his subs that they would be there on time. He said it can be done in about 2 weeks, where he would have the pipes put in, the curbs put in, paved, striped, and then it's done in about 2 weeks' time. But I want some guarantees from his subs, because he's got a sub doing the curb, a sub doing the paving, and a sub doing the striping. So that's a lot of subs to guarantee can get there in that 2 week period.
Well, I think, kind of what you, just to recap though, is that's not what the original plan was not to shut down the whole road. It was to keep it open and allow traffic through. I understand your reason.
Correct, yes.
Yes. And then, I think the overall concern with that would be is like you said, you want to schedule, but like you said, he's behind schedule at 95%. So, when we've only paid out 70-something%. So, I don't know how much of a guarantee is you're going to get, if you will, and I can understand the people's patience running a little thin.
What you're going to have is all those people, Bartlett Wood, Country Club, the other subdivision on the back side of Country Club, having to go through Panola County and back around and get out of there? No. How are they going to get out?
So the west half of the roundabout is built.
I got you.
So traffic can be rerouted through there, through Bartlett Woods over to, I think it's May Drive. So that would be the route around this area of work. So when I say now.
So you're talking about going back through Bartlett Woods to the west on that new half that's been done?
Correct. While they build the east half.
Gotcha.
So it's not necessarily, so when I say shut down, it's not necessarily shut down where you can't get home. It's shut down for, I guess, any through traffic, like if folks trying to go to and from, say like Como, they need to go some other way. But folks that live there can get home and get out, yes. Yes.
So if you do it that way, you're talking about 2 weeks complete?
According to a contractor whose schedule has been sketchy. If he can't give a guarantee, then I wouldn't even consider it. And he's guaranteeing subs, so. I would like to find a way where he can build it and he can flag the traveling public around the work. That's what I would like to see, as per the plans. With the knowledge that it's going to take longer than 2 weeks and it's going to be a delay. He's got to cross the road with some storm drain pipe at the roundabout. And so it may take an hour and a half, 2 hours to do the trench and lay pipes. I mean, there's going to be some times when people have to probably sit in a flagging lane for, 10, 15 minutes at a time.
So if you do
until they
it the
can
other,
pass.
so if you do it the other way, they wouldn't have to be sitting, is that what you're saying? If you go back through Bartonwood on the west side, it will not be flagging at that point in time, or still flagging?
I think the traveling public could use that detour without having flagmen there, to go back and forth.
I just know all hell's gonna break loose.
Now, speed humps were installed within Bartlett Woods, so that's going to slow folks down, but just the volume of cars, of course, going through there is going to be more.
What do you wanna do?
Well, I am concerned about, it would be like reroute traffic in any subdivision in the county. You've got people that walk, kids that play, four-wheelers, golf carts, that concerns me, rerouting that traffic to a low-speed road off that main drag. I mean, contractors every day have traffic control. I don't, I understand that y'all looked at the plans and deemed that the initial plans may not work as well as you initially thought, but rerouting that traffic does concern me.
Well, the concern, I think, on the traffic control plan is it's doable with drivers that pay attention to the sort of slow down, slow bump signs, whatever. We can beef up the signs. I think the concern is the contractor leaves it overnight, and if a sign is up or not, there's been a history of people flying through there at night. So I think if we can control that,
How many working days is left in the original contract?
This estimate cut off on May 20th, and on May 20th, he was 173 days out of 180.
So is that the need to speed it up?
So, he would like that, I think. Even if we speed it up 2 weeks, he's still gonna be over his time, so that's not gonna save anything.
I just,
He wants to be done, and it sounds like
well, to me,
I've expressed to
it's kind of
him.
like an accommodation though, in order to speed up the time when we should have already been ahead of where we are, and then it wouldn't have been a problem. But anyways.
We'll continue to work on a safe alternative to keep traffic open.
So the problem is that people, when they leave the job site that afternoon, people just drive through it.
On a couple occasions.
So they need to barricade it and then put the detour signs up during the evening.
Sounds like we're probably not gonna be barricading or detouring. They'll just have to add some barrels and some lights and just go around the pipe trenches and just be careful. I will make sure that I get a schedule regardless of his work so that that can be put on social media. So that the neighborhood will know, okay, they're about to start work, please be careful, drive slower, and we'll just cross our fingers and get it done.
Any more questions?
Thank you, sir. Well, no, okay, I'm sorry. No, I got two more quick things.
Excuse me, Chairman, if that's not communicated correctly, you're gonna have a lot of problems, a lot of mad folks. So I don't know how y'all gonna handle this, maybe you need to make contract with yourself, other than a verbal. I don't know.
Why don't I hand the flyers and tell someone to hand out a flyer as they come through that?
I am thinking about trying to schedule a meeting up here with him, just to get him face to face, for us to give him some assurances on his schedule and let them know that he's right toward the end. This is the last really tough part of the project. It gets us roundabout business. So if he can get through that, it's just throwing some sod out, some stripe signs, and he's done.
Then overlay, and then overlay,
The overlay is complete from
part of it.
May Drive south, I think.
So just that last little bit.
No, I don't know, familiar with the area and anything, but, do they rent those digital signs? Would that be an option to just, I
It is.
don't know if they got enough room to put one there, or I just threw that out.
No, those are, they can do that. I'll give them that,
When you said 2 weeks, is Cole, are you talking about 2 5-day work days, or are you talking about 2?
I'm talking about 14 days.
14 days. So you're looking at roughly 3 weeks, Monday through Friday, roughly. Does he work Saturday and Sunday? But you might.
You gotta remember this too, if he shuts the road down, he's not under traffic, he can go to work. With traffic going through there, it's gonna make it twice as long, so if he's saying he can do it in 2 weeks' time without traffic on it, that's liable to put him 4, 5 weeks with traffic on it. So you gotta play devil's advocate, you want to shut it down, get it done, or you want to, could possibly prolong it.
Well, if they can get from, let's say the residents of Back Acres, has to swing all the way around and come back out, and hit May and come through Bartlett Woods and come out on that west side of the loop, at least they're traveling. They're not being stopped. That's what you're proposing.
What's that now?
That's what you're proposing. If you
The contractor has proposed doing that.
where if they can at least get in and out, they're probably
Discuss.
5 minutes inconvenience wise, 10 minutes from their home, something like that, to get out. As opposed to the other. You gotta be prepared.
Because you're gonna be working under 1 lane shut down for 10 hours a day. And then you're talking about concrete trucks for curb, big machines in the way, possibly it'll be a nightmare if you don't shut it down.
I'd much rather see the shutdown and get it done personally.
I wrote this shut down too. If you don't watch it, he'll put you out on a limb. We don't want to be on that limb with you.
But that could possibly turn up Main Drive. That,
Then we'd
because
be,
it does not see that kind of traffic.
then we'd be resurfacing Main Drive.
Yeah.
How did we get speed bumps on there? How did we get speed bumps on Main Drive?
I didn't know there was any Main Drive.
When you need an answer, Kevin, yesterday?
What's that?
When did you need an answer yesterday?
Well, the contractor is not planning any major work until I get him some kind of direction. I think he was some sod down, Friday and Saturday. So he's not on site today. I know there's been a lot of questions of when he's gonna get back, that the weather looks good and he's not working. Like I said, he wants to get finished, well, not as bad as some of the folks wanted to get finished, but he wants to get finished pretty quick. As soon as I can give him some kind of idea of what he can do, I think he'd be back on the site within a day or two.
All right, we'll get you an answer.
I will continue to work on some kind of plan to keep it just like it is, but real quick, so on the state aid project, there's an overlay. When it came time for us to sign the subcontract agreements, we realized there was a board order done back in 2005 for Larry Britt. It allows Larry to sign supplementals and change orders on state aid projects only, so that he's not coming in here every, 2 weeks with a change order for a subcontract agreement. I sent y'all a copy of the one from 2005, and we just, if it's your wish, I'd like something like that, that allows me to do that, as county. Did y'all get a copy of that?
I got it.
Oh, okay.
It just says, the board finds Mr. Greer has requested authority to sign change orders and request to subcontract as needed on state aid projects. And y'all granted that back in, it said 2005. So we just wanted to send them board order, giving Kevin, since he's the new county engineer, same authority as, it's fine.
Okay, can I get a motion to go ahead and give Kevin the authority to be able to sign the state aid subcontract agreements?
I make the motion.
Motion made by Supervisor Ricks, can I get a second? Second by Supervisor O'Connor. Are there any discussion? No discussion, all in favor, let it know by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And last but not least, and I don't know if I need the board's approval to do this, but this came up with the contractor back on Country Club Road. And so, just put on the agenda, just to talk about. So, the contractor has hit some Comcast lines. When he called his 811 ticket in, they were marked, but when they were hit, they were about 6 inches deep, some were just under the grass. Comcast, of course, is charging him for that, and he still may have to pay that, since it was marked. But when these companies come in and fill out a permit with the county to put utilities on county right-of-way, our permit form requires they be at a certain depth, which is a lot deeper than 6 inches. We prefer them on the back side of the ditch so that if there's work being done, they don't get hit. I've gone back and looked at our files since Mr. Britt was county engineer back in '05, and I can't find any Comcast permits for the area out there. That makes me think they don't exist. But I told the contractor that I'd be glad to reach out to Comcast and explain to them that, you know, if they're gonna put lines on county right-of-way, there's a process, of course, but they gotta be deeper than 6 inches. I don't know that Comcast will say, okay, sorry, you know, we won't charge the contractor for it. He said, I think the contractor still probably has to pay what he hit because it was marked. But moving forward, I would like to contact Comcast and explain to them that there's a process to putting their lines on our right-of-way so that this doesn't happen again. So that's.
You don't need any action.
Okay. I want to make sure.
I've got a question since you said that. I had a call this weekend talking about, he just assumed it was a Comcast line of some sort that they hadn't covered up, that they left it out and it was crossing his driveway, and he said it's been there for a week.
So, a lot of these companies have a different subcontractor who comes in and does the trenching. So, it may be that they ran the line and it's just laying out there and the subcontractor hasn't come to trenching yet. When I had cable into my house years ago, it stayed on top of the grass for 3 months before somebody showed up to trenching. So, I don't think it's just standard for these companies to have a different subcontractor come in and trench.
I've never heard of that, and I told them that didn't have anything really to do with us.
They're not coming back.
Well, I told them, good way to get them to come back. Good.
We get them all the time.
Is that Comcast or AT&T?
It's most of the time it's your cable, internet, Comcast lines, stuff like that. They're run through these middle of the culverts, they're on the side of the road in the grass, bush hogs, give them, I've seen some crazy stuff running.
Even Kevin and we get requests to pay them as well when we hit them. But like you said, they're not marked and they're not in the backside of the slope 15 inches. We don't pay it. I mean, if they didn't bother, especially if they didn't get a permit.
Yeah.
And we did several here recently that they didn't have a
find
permit.
any permits in our files from that area down there.
We were pretty good back in documenting everything and making sure that they just didn't do it.
The only ones we've got that even try to pull a permit is AT&T, and that's when they're doing a fiber line. But you get them to just do a house service, they're still supposed to be permitted because they cross.
If they're on our right of way.
Yeah, they're supposed to, then they don't do it. And I catch them all the time and stop them, but
you can't patrol everywhere and find them.
Well, I will reach out to Comcast, and it sounds like they're the worst ones, and, have a conversation, and if I need to get anything in writing, I'll run it by y'all.
Community college.
So, unless I've got, so that's what we have.
Now, thank you, sir.
No problem.